And if you're in relationships that you can't feel like you can be your complete self in, you really have to look at that. And of course, by being your complete self, we mean, do you have to lie? And not just tell falsehoods, but lie about how you are presenting yourself in the situation. Do you have to cheat yourself? Do you have to cheat them out of who you are in order to feel like they'll put up with you? Are you giving away something of you in order to get something from them? And by giving away, we mean leaving behind. Are you leaving who you are behind in order to get something from another person? We've said before, you typically get into relationships to have your fears fixed. So what about you do you have to abandon in order to get that person to fix your fears? And wouldn't it be more interesting to show up as your complete self and fix your fears yourself? That's really the nuts and bolts of this thing. What are you leaving behind? And are you willing to let it be left? What are you leaving behind? And are you willing to let it be left there? Let's just say it this way. If you could never get it back, would you do it? Is the payoff that good? That part of you that, let's just pick something crazy, is very passionate about classical music, and your partner thinks it's just rubbish. And you say, okay, well, I'll never speak about classical music and I'll never listen to it while I'm in this partnership because he thinks it's rubbish, and if I spend any money on it, he gives me grief, and if I have it in my car, he'll see it and he might get upset. And you know, we're picking kind of an extreme example, but we've got to pick one, right? So you've got this person who's like saying that's not an acceptable part of you. So you say, okay, well, you know, maybe it's not that important to me. What if you could never get it back? What if it was off the list forever? Would you leave it behind in order to get what you're getting from that person? We came up with that extreme example because that's actually what you do. Someone said to Veronica once, so interesting when you break up with someone because you get back the parts of you that you left behind, or you get back parts of you you forgot about. Something like that. That's just being recollected right now. And on some levels that's true. So let's go back to our example. So you're in a partnership with someone who can't stand classical music. Okay, great. You can make an agreement. Fine. I won't play the classical music when you're around. But I'm not leaving it behind. If I've got it in my car, if I spend some money on it, none of your business. That's for me. I'm not going to cut off my left arm just because you don't happen to think you need an extra arm. I happen to like that arm, so I'm going to keep it. So it's obvious when we use an example like that. But if it's an example like, I like to talk about my feelings, or I like to meditate, or I like to go see Eloheim on Wednesday nights, or more subtle things. I like to have a weekend with the girls twice a year. I want to go on a vacation by myself. I want to tell you how I feel about your behavior. Or just, I want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you. I want you to know who I am, and I want to know who you are. You don't have to agree with the person to still hear them. Our favorite example, Veronica said to Richard the other day, look, I don't eat meat. I don't need to hear about you eating a hamburger for lunch. But I'm still going to love you even though you eat hamburgers. It's okay with me that you're eating a hamburger. I just don't necessarily need to know all about it. Right? It was something like that.
Not a hamburger.
Yeah, something like that. It was like, it's okay that you're different from me. Thank God, right? Or else this place would be pretty boring. It doesn't make you wrong and me right. It makes you you and me me. And maybe it's not all that interesting to you what I've got going on, but can you be interested in my interest? Can my delight over the fact that the new classical CD arrived be enough to pleasure you that I'm pleasured? And you don't have to listen to it with me, but you can be happy that I have it. You can be happy that I'm happy. That's all. And if your partner has something he likes to do, go watch the monster trucks or something that you would just have absolutely no interest in. You're like, he really likes to go watch the monster trucks. Well, you know, you buy him a monster truck t-shirt to wear. And it can be completely ridiculous to you, but his love of it can be the love you feel for him. I love the fact that you love it is enough, right? I love the fact that you love it. I love the fact that it really gets you going. I love the fact that you get your male companions. We were going to say your boys, but we're not sure what people think that means. You get your guys together and you guys go monster truck out. You know, here's a cooler. I made you guys some sandwiches. Go monster truck yourself crazy. When you come home, I may not want to hear every story about it, but I can probably handle hearing a couple because your excitement about it is contagious. It doesn't mean you have to like monster trucks to like him liking monster trucks. And that's where there's this strong desire for everybody to be the same all the time. I need you to be like me so I feel safe around you, so that I feel that my opinions are right. You need to agree with me so that I feel safe having a judgment. Remember we talked about judgments and preferences? A lot of times you want people to be like you so that your judgments feel safe to you. If it's about preferences, then you don't need the person to be the same as you. They can be themselves. And you can say, it's not my preference to go monster trucking with you, but I'm so excited that you're happy. How can I make it easier on you? What would make it fun for you? Would you like me to make some sandwiches? Would you like me to get you something fun to wear? Whatever. You participate in their excitement, not in the information. Do you understand that difference? Well, this is what you can do with your friends, right? They have a hobby you're not into, but you can be happy about their having a hobby without it becoming your hobby. And it doesn't mean you're less close. It doesn't take away from their interest. It's like, oh, great. Wow, that's exciting. Like Randy and your bees, right? You're the only beekeeper, and all these people know you, and they're happy for you that you have your bees, and you have your products, and you have this, and you have that, and none of them have decided to become beekeepers with you, but they're all thrilled with your success and your interest and your excitement and your projects, right? Mm-hmm. If you were, we shouldn't say you specifically, but using your example, in marriage or partnership, a lot of times it's, I'm interested in bees, you need to be interested in bees, so I feel safe having this big interest, I feel safe spending money on it, I feel safe spending time on it. Come on, be a beekeeper with me, honey. And then you're like, you're not a very good beekeeper. Don't tell me how to keep bees, right? So no wonder you got stung, you weren't doing it right, right? All of a sudden it's all about, you're not. And then you're mad because he's telling you what to do with your joy. And he's not happy enough about it. Okay, so it's easy when we say it's about bees, but when we back it out and say it's about, talking about our feelings, or how we talk about our feelings, or how we look at structure, right? What specific words we use, or how we communicate about feelings. Like he thinks about his feelings, I feel my feelings, I talk about my feelings, he thinks about his feelings. When it has to be exactly the same, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So the delight is in the process your partner uses rather than the demand to be in it being the same. This is conscious partnering.